Well, here we go into taking a look at the photography, imagery, illustration, charts, etc., icons on a web page, and really going to take a look at why it's important to select the appropriate imagery that communicates, and not just put any old thing on the page, especially the home page. So let's take a look at this example. And it is a zoo homepage, and a lot of times zoos have different events, and this event is Be a Bug Explorer. And if you take a look, we're going to start looking at the hero image, the large image. What are your thoughts about this exhibit? Would you take your small children to this exhibit when there's bugs the size of their head? Maybe. I don't think I would go. So we're going to take a look at this, and maybe we would have a different idea for that hero image. Also, let's take a look down at the smaller images, our animals. Well, I don't know about you, but I think that's the saddest orangutan I've ever seen in my life. I'm about ready to cry. So again, maybe a different image, maybe an image where the colors are more cohesive. Zoo highlights for the butterfly house. Well, I don't even see a butterfly, do you? So I don't think that was a very smart choice. I do like that we're seeing people. I do like that there's a little girl with a little boy, so it's all good. And what about wild encounters, roar and snore? Well, I'm about ready to snore because this is so boring, and that doesn't look like waking in the morning. It looks like a full moon that's going to collide into the earth. So again, the imagery, I think, can definitely be improved on this site. One more thing, not talking about imagery, is just take a look at the word wildlife. Do you remember from our terminology what that's called? Do you remember? That is a widow. And it sure seems to me that if the type were managed, the type wrap a little bit better, you wouldn't have a widow in this block of copy. So let's go ahead and take a look at some imagery that might make this a bit stronger. So in order to improve or find a stronger image for our hero, I might do a Google search just to see what is out there. And that's pretty much what I want you to do for this assignment. Trying to locate imagery that's going to improve the look of this site. So, okay, I'm going to do a search for pretty bugs because I like pretty bugs. Okay, that's a really interesting bug. That's got a nice paint job, but this really doesn't show anything about exploring. So maybe I need to come back and say, actually look for bug explorers. What do we get here? Bug explorers? No, bug explorers. I want to look at imagery. Okay, let's see. We see some games. Okay, we see, oh, look at that, cute. We do see somebody holding a bug. We see some kids looking in bushes. So it may take a little bit of time for you to find the right imagery, and it may be a combination of images to find the right image for your site. I've found several, and let me show those to you, that I thought might work. I thought this image with the little boy looking close, I thought was really quite attractive. The kids with the butterfly net, this little boy with the binoculars I thought was really adorable. And then the image with the three kids looking. So I went ahead and believe that this is the image that I would like to replace, not only because it's, well, pretty much almost the same size, it looks pretty good. And here I am back on my home page, and I'm going to bring that one image over to replace or cover our current Be a Bug Explorer image. Even though I'm showing you the areas that I'm wanting you to replace, I think it's a good idea to come on in and add some guides. And in Photoshop, if you come up to the top ruler, You click and you drag down a ruler, a horizontal ruler, maybe top and bottom. You'll know exactly where that image should be placed. The same thing from the sides. All right, so this way, if it isn't quite a perfect photo, you know exactly where to crop it. You can use your transform tools, use your measurements, get in there, look, make sure everything's perfectly aligned. So, okay, I know exactly where I am going to replace the images, and I'm going to come back to my Photoshop document that I went ahead and just added a bunch of photos to. But we know it's this image, and on my layers it's in Sec 4. All I need to do is click on that layer, drag it over, and there's the image placed. Now again, it's going to be a little bit fuzzy because these are not high-res pictures, and meaning that I'm having to enlarge it, and it's even 72 dpi, which is typical for web. 72 ppi, there's going to be a little bit of distortion. That is okay, again, for this assignment only. Well, it's not quite big enough, so I'm going to need to come up to the Edit, Transform. This is just one way of doing it. Grab a handle, hit the Shift key so it enlarges proportionately. And as you see, it's not going to be quite perfect. So I've gone ahead and put it into position. I'm over the guides, but that's okay. I'm going to return. And then to make it absolutely perfect, come up to our rectangular marquee tool and make sure you're on the right layer. And I'm just going to draw a rectangle right up into the guide, hit delete, and as you see, then the area outside of the guides is deleted. And there's that side. And now on the bottom, stay at the guide. And that's why it's important to use your guides. Look at that, nice and neat. And on this right side, nice and neat. That looks pretty good. And we're going to save. And then we're going to come down and take a look at the other imagery in the rest of these videos.